Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Week 5 talk show. You got the commission, you got JJ. Jack, my team is rising just like the Drake May dynasty. We're going to get into it this week. We're going to talk about risers and fallers in the league, NFL, and otherwise. Great to be back with you, Jack, for another week of talking football. And it's time to get into it. But first of all, how you feeling? How's the week been? How's the locker room been treating you?
I'm feeling good. My boys have been playing well. I'm proud of them. This was a tough week for us. You'll see later on. But my team's playing well. We got a lot of action going on in the Chi-Fi Fantasy League this week. Super excited to break it down for you all. Let's get right into it.
As always, you know what it is, scoreboard time. Um, Jack, Jack, when I started this league 4 years ago with a bulletin board and a dream, I didn't expect myself to be 1-4 in my own creation, in my own fantasy football league. This is just ridiculous. Joe Flacco almost saving me. My kicker being the third highest scorer on my team. Oh, Jack, we're in shambles right now. I can't believe I let this fool Brendan Bridge get his first win of the season. I'm upset beyond words. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, this was not ideal. Your team is really paying the price for the lackadaisical offseason after winning a Super Bowl. That's very reminiscent of the Rams the year after they won. That's what I'm seeing right now, including your old white man quarterback, Joe Flacco, Jalen Tolbert, and a kicker as your top three. Wouldn't have, wouldn't have put that in my parlay to start the season, but your team still performed. Bridge had a great week. Congratulations to him on his first win of the season. He was due. Don't beat yourself up about it.
You're right. I think we'll see later on the talk show. Gr Greener pastures are ahead. Hopefully, looking to turn things around this week, and we're off to a nice start on Thursday Night Football. But just losing to this team in particular, kind of a rivalry game for my locker room. There's a lot of bad blood that goes back a long way, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But we fall to 1-4. Brendan rises to 1-4. There's a lot of season left, so we got time to make up for it, but not the result I was looking for.
Yeah, not
But
ideal by any means, but we move. And moving on to Scott edging out a win with a whopping 98 points, so deserved. George Kittle and Roshan Johnson lead the way in this absolute toilet bowl of a game. Perone falling to 3-2. I got nothing to comment on here. This is just bad.
this is bad football. There's no other way to say it. Um, you look at Scott's roster, you just click on his profile, and it looks like he drafted starting in the fifth round. You just look at his guys, and I mean, listen, I'm happy the Kittle's performing for him. Mahomes has been an underwhelming quarterback for where he was drafted in
Very
most
much.
leagues. And who thought Roshan Johnson was getting points? I mean, and to have these guys be your top three scorers, it is a bad look. I think he's starting ridiculous names in his lineup every week. Scott, I want to see you succeed, buddy. I want to see you do well, but you keep rolling out guys like this, and I think you already dropped Zamir White. It's just not looking great for you.
Yeah, this was that
So
was not the pick. And when you look at his roster, he has like pretty much the entire Rams receiving core. Like I looked
yeah,
this I'm playing him this week. He has four receivers from the Rams, none of which are startable at the moment. I just don't get it.
right.
It's a feeling of neglect going on in that locker room. And you're right, Mahomes has been dreadful this season in terms of fantasy. He's still the best QB in the league, but he has not finished as a top 10 quarterback in fantasy in like a whole year, it seems.
He doesn't have the profile to be a good fantasy quarterback. Obviously, a really good real life quarterback, but fantasy is a little bit different. So I agree with you there. But listen, as much as we're shitting on his team, he did win, so let's
Oh
acknowledge
man.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Bro,
two
you
and
should
th
be
two and
embarrassed
three is
losing to that
generous.
squad.
2-3 is generous for this team. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, Perone, Saquon's on bye. I think his team's gonna be okay.
Anywho, next up, Nabil, a statement win, 147 points, moves to 4-1. Garrett Wilson finally that breakout game we've been waiting for. And what does he do to pay him back? We'll find out later in this episode.
Stay tuned for the train wreck that is about to come for this team. However, Jack, it's funny to say this, but I'm so high on Garrett Wilson because you just as the weeks go on and he develops kind of coordination and charisma with Aaron Rodgers, the more you see that relationship develop, the more excited you get about his potential as a fantasy wide receiver. You saw a glimpse of it here with almost a 30-point game. Um, a really nice receiver core with him and DJ Moore is obviously the top option in Chicago. So I love that for him. But so a really nice win. Um, Good guys. Our friend Evan, the unexperienced one of the group. Um,
I think he's
Tough
doing fine.
few. He's got a better record than me, so I can't
Yeah,
really talk. But
he does. Evan, I think you're doing just fine, man. Your team's not great, but they're having fun. They're having fun playing for you. It's a good locker room.
yeah, a lot of ring chasers out there. The next two being a couple of them, we got our boy Highway Aubrey should be getting a nice win here with a clutch performance from the Minnesota defense. Joe Burrow having a just standout year through the first 5 weeks. Him and Jamar Chase are just hopefully they're going places with a deep postseason run. That's what it's looking like at least. So nice to have him on the team and with Murray's team. His top three performers are running backs, and it feels like the running back market has been a little bit stale this year. So even though he gets his first loss of the season, I feel pretty good in his position right now.
Yeah, I think Murray's in a great spot having three really solid running backs. That's hard to come by this season for sure. Shuby, I mean, 26 points out of Darius Slayton. Who would have thought? Guy comes in because Neighbors is injured, catches two touchdowns, one of them being super deep. Yeah, this was a bloodbath of a game, and I would feel pretty good if I'm either of these teams.
Absolutely agree.
How about that Viking defense, man? Andrew Van Ginkel, baby. Come on now.
Little ex Dolphins guy putting up some big numbers for you. I love it.
He's a beast. Speaking of beasts, I went up against a few of them this week. Man, oh man, my boys left it all out on the field. Thursday night football, London puts up 100 or puts up 33. I'm projected 160 after that game. Feeling good. Player by player, everyone does their job. Devon Achane goes down with a concussion, finished with 2 points. And honestly, that probably wouldn't have made the difference if he played the rest of the game because Tyler put up 173. Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do against that?
Jack, you roll over and just take the L. I mean,
Sucks.
thank God it wasn't a do or die game for you because this team is ridiculous.
And
Wandale
Juggernaut.
Robinson,
Yeah,
what the hell? What are we doing?
yeah,
Just throwing that name out there, putting up like double digit points every week.
yeah.
Um,
Jamar Chase with an absurd 41 points. It's like every single player in his roster had double digits. Like, there's
right.
nothing I can do about that. My team played so well. I'm thrilled with where we're at. And still, it just wasn't enough.
The big name for me is Brock Bowers, where like all of these top tight ends have been underperforming. Like I'm waiting for Sam Laporta to have a double digit game still in week 5 on some of my other leagues. And then you're getting Bowers in what, the ninth round, the eighth round, and he's just showing why he was like a top option at tight end. So that's good to Tyler. I mean, he drafted the right people. That can't be denied. He's a great drafter.
Yeah,
So
he is. Kid is special. Brock Bowers is special. Tyler always finding value in those late rounds. And Brock Bowers is doing this with very subpar quarterbacks. Imagine he had like someone like Joe Burrow throwing to him. This kid is going to be a force for 15 years.
I completely agree. On the flip side of Tyler's team, we have our good friends on watch, Nate Suit, for worst team in a while. Um, updated the branding for to more appropriate, and 0-5. This is bad. And his quarterback goes down. Derek Carr out for I believe multiple weeks. Rattler, the rookie quarterback, coming in. I mean, Jack, does this team have anything to look forward to?
No, they certainly don't. McCaffrey, no signs of him coming back anytime soon. Devontae Adams, still no trade. Two of his best players. And I mean, Ramondre Stevenson with 19, you can't count on that every week, and he still only put up 97. I mean, this is just bleak. My heart goes out to you, Suit. I think in the last like 15 weeks of fantasy football regular season for the last 2 years, Suit's like 1 in 13 or something, or 1 in 14. Like it's just it's dark times over there, and prayers out to you, brother.
Hope you can keep it together. There's no relegation in this league, but you might make me consider it. I'm just I'm just throwing that out there. Man, don't make me do this. Don't make me send you down to the B squad. I don't even know. Maybe my little brother can be the 14th member. But our good friend Dorf is 2-3, not the best record, but a nice 140 game, and
Yeah.
I don't know, nothing to complain about here. Kareem Hunt, his return, his triumphant return to the Kansas City Chiefs backfield.
Yeah, he looks
Who
damn
would have thought?
good. He looks damn good turning back the clock a little bit, Kareem Hunt.
I remember back in the day, he was a rookie and on the Chiefs, and they were playing the Patriots, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be a problem. This guy is going to be an issue for us in the postseason, and some things happened, but I mean, he's back in the right offense, so nice little pickup for him, and
Yeah.
solid team.
Yeah. It happens every year. I feel like he's a free agent and then someone gets hurt really bad and then they sign him and he's incredible. Like, why is he just not on a roster at the start of the season so we could draft him? It's crazy.
Yeah, who knows? Speaking of our last matchup here, who knows why Tucker Kraft is putting up the amount of points that he is, but Ollie, our good friend, has gotten lucky to say the least. Picked his starting tight end up off of waivers a few weeks ago. Combine that with a strong fantasy performance from Kyler Murray, and T. Higgins coming back to form finally after a couple of weeks out and is slowly getting integrated back into this high-powered offense. Ollie's team looks good, moves to 4-1, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, no, this team is really good. T. Higgins, it's nice to see him back in like the star that he is. He is incredibly talented. He's dealt with a ton of injuries lately. It's good to see him back. Tucker Kraft, who? Who? Uh, Mueller has, I feel like, put up some pretty good games this year. Unlucky to be 1-4. Not something I necessarily expected, but nevertheless, those are our scores for the week.
Hell yeah. Let's take a quick look at the standings, see what's going on. One undefeated team left. The Justin Tuckers are not losing anytime soon. I feel like it's pretty safe to say. Um, Jack, I think we're going to start putting the total points up because I just want to give a little bit of defense for myself.
I like that.
I'm not that far behind.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that poorly. Okay. I just want to throw that out there. I've been looking at the statistics. We're a big stats team over here at I Am Worthy
Yeah.
Clubhouse. And listen, 1-4 is not representative of our team. I just want to put that out there to the press. We're gonna come back. We're gonna upset the best team in the league this week. Um, I'm just putting that on camera right now.
Yeah, have one. I like the confidence. You guys are deep in the analytics. It's how you gotta put wins together, man. It's Moneyball. You gotta play Moneyball at this point.
That's what I'm saying. It's a winners league. A great quarterback once said that. Drake Math. Um, but yeah, it feels like a lot of teams close together here. So standings haven't really shaken out yet. I feel like everyone's close to each other. It's going to be a good competition the rest of the way.
Totally. Still anyone's league except Suits.
That's facts. He might be out of playoff contention already, but
Chat, he might be cooked.
All right. So I think, Jack, we can finally settle this segment and throw it out the window. And I never want to talk about it again
Yep.
because unfortunately, I had to give our good friend Brendan his first win. Congratulations to him. This ridiculous team somehow came together for a ridiculous victory, and no one saw it coming. But Brendan, congratulations to you. I'm not going to say greener pasture ahead for this team, but a win is a win.
Yeah, I could see this being a little turnaround for Bridge. Keep in mind he won this week without Gibbs, who was on bye, and without Devontae Smith, who was also on bye and injured. So I wouldn't rule out Bridge and making a scary 7 seed when all is said and done this season.
Okay, I like it. I like prediction, and if
Heard it here
DeAndre Swift
first.
keeps playing like he has,
Yeah. Fuck.
I mean,
We
yeah,
should have all
crazy.
traded for him after week 2 because he was worth a bag of chips. And now look at him. My God. 30 points damn near back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, that's a nice day. Okay, Jack, you graced us once again. Get to talk about a lot of teams here. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of movement from last week to this week. Let's um let's break it down, Jack. Tell me
Yeah.
tell me what you've been thinking about.
Yeah, we got a little shuffling going on this week. Nothing too major, but definitely something. Just like to quick shout out my Minnesota Vikings. 5-0 going into our bye week this week. I'm so excited for Sunday. I'm not going to be tweaking about a game. It was nice. We went into London, clapped the Jets. I had the rest of my Sunday to not give a care about anything going on in the world. It was so nice. Sam Darnold, what a guy. 5-0, can't believe it. And that's it. All the changes in the dogs tier. Baltimore moving up after a really impressive win against Cincinnati this week. And Huddy, if you'd like to give us a little intel on our final fifth team here.
Yeah, special guest in Dogs of the Week. Um, Shout out Space Station Gaming for winning the Halo Championship Series last Sunday. $1 million prize pool. Shout out, the European talent over there. Those guys are legit. I think they're going to run that league for a while, and they're the best team in Halo Infinite. So, well, side note, that's what I like to do with my free time. Just nerd out on Halo. Well, fun fact about the commish, but yeah. So Space Station Gaming, Dogs of the Week. They're out there with the Vikings. I'm just going to put that out there. They're cranking some numbers for sure.
Defense wins championships, you know what they say. Anywho, shout out to them. Shout out to Halo. That game's pretty fun. Moving on, really good tier. We split it up this week. We don't have two meh tiers. We got two good tiers because I liked what I saw in the NFL this week. In the really good tier, we have the Bills still, a really bad loss. Poor coaching at the end of that game. However, I mean, like there's just nothing they can do. They really need a wide receiver desperately. Keon Coleman is good. I think he's going to be good for a long time, but they need a go-to guy. With them, we got the Niners, who are currently crapping on the Seahawks. This team is missing about half their roster, and they're still getting it done. Shout out to them. Got the Packers here, and we got the Washington Commanders. Who would have thought after 5 weeks, a rebuilding team with a rookie quarterback would be sitting at 4-1 with some impressive wins, curb stomping the Browns this week. This team is really fun to watch. I really enjoy watching Jay Daniels play football. This guy's awesome. I think they're well coached, new regime in there, and this team is really, really exciting.
I completely agree. I need to get in on more Washington Commanders games. Watching them play the Ravens this Sunday is going to be ridiculously fun. Just like an awesome game. Um, and I appreciate you putting the Niners as high as you did. Even with the 2-3 record, you can recognize that this team at its peak is with the best of them. I think they're going to turn it around. We're watching them do that right now. Just checking some live updates with the Seahawks game. And I mean, listen, they have the right pieces. Listen, they're like they lost to the Cardinals because their kicker gets injured. Like this team just feels so unlucky with just like what has happened to their roster injury wise. But they're gonna come back. They're gonna be comfortably in the playoffs. I have no doubt about that. Um, and the last team I'll say is Cincinnati Bengals are a little low for me, Jack.
Okay.
I'm just I'll say like obviously the defense needs some work, but I think we're seeing some pretty special stuff from Burrow and Chase again. It's kind of looking like they're a little bit of a repeat of their 2021 performance to get into the Super Bowl. Might be a little early for that, but I don't know. That team is balling out right now. And if you were to redraft in a like if we were to redraft in fantasy right now, Chase would probably be a top two pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%. He would probably go. There's a shot he could be the number one pick. Him or maybe, I don't know, Saquon or something. Who knows? But he has been legit this year. The Bengals offense is awesome. They're a generational offense, but they're 1-4. So like I couldn't justify putting them higher. They really
That's a
blew
good
that
point.
game. As much as I think they're a great team that could have success in the playoffs, they got to put some wins in the W column, man.
I forgot how awful their record is. All right, never mind. You should actually
Yeah,
have them lower
see,
than
no, it's easier to forget their record because they are really good. They're fun to watch. They do good things on the field. They
yeah,
just their defense sells them. They can't win games. Yeah. Anywho,
I agree.
we got the Texans here, a good win over Buffalo without Nico Collins, who's going to be heading to IR after a hamstring strain. We know how terrible those are. It sucks to see he's been absolutely feasting this year. Jefferson went down with one last year. He was out, excuse me, 6 or 7 weeks. These are one of the trickiest injuries to come back from in sports. So, wishing Nico the best. Shout out to Tank Dell. Hopefully, he starts doing well on my team. Anywho, we got Atlanta here and Tampa Bay right behind them. That game was one of the most fun football games. Thursday night last week, that was so much fun to watch. It was just pass, pass, pass the whole game. Tons of touchdowns, tons of deep balls, overtime win for the Falcons, just edging out Tampa in the rankings here. Kirk Cousins, fuck you, 500 yards. Couldn't have done that in Minnesota, you jackass. And yeah, that's all I got to say about this tier. Seahawks losing to the Giants, that's bad.
That's a tough one. Special teams, Seahawks special teams are running laps. That's for sure. That last play was just brutal to watch. But yeah, you're seeing like week five now, you're seeing offenses kind of come together a little bit more like coordination, even after training camp. It felt like the first few weeks, teams are still finding their groove. And like one team I'll say that's really coming together, it feels like they are the Atlanta Falcons. Like, because Kirk is he's a pass first guy. I mean, he's gonna sling it around. He did it in Minnesota. He's gonna do it in Atlanta, and he's starting to find like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and you're seeing their production go up. And like it might take a little bit of time, but I think this team's going to be legit, and I think we saw a glimpse of it on Sunday or on Thursday. Um, yeah, they're gonna be good. So a lot of fun offenses to watch in this tier. I like it.
100%. And in the meh but not fun tier, pretty much I think it's the exact same five as last week. None of these teams have showed me anything worth my attention. The Saints were pretty fun. I think I slid them down from fun to not fun because of Derek Carr going down. It'll be interesting to see Spencer Rattler get a shot. He was like a super highly touted prospect, but wasn't drafted high at all. Wonder if he'll be any good. And the Cowboys and Steelers, that game was so ugly. These teams don't move me whatsoever.
I agree. Patrick Mahomes lookalike, Spencer Rattler, starting for the New Orleans Saints this week. We'll see if the rookie can do anything. It's funny to think that Derek Carr is what makes the team fun instead of unfun.
Right.
That doesn't feel right to say, but yeah, we'll see. And the Chargers coming off a bye, I hope they can figure it out with the passing game because J.K. Dobbins looks great this year, and if only they can get some decent receivers downfield, I think this could turn into a pretty good team quick. But like you said, nothing that kind of jumps out.
Yeah. With you there. In the shit tier, Eagles are still here. They had a bye this week, which was probably really good for them to get healthy and reset. Their receivers are due back this week, but they will not be moving up until they show me something. With them, the Raiders, the Colts, the Bears, and the Giants moving up from super duper shit to just regular shit after a win in which they didn't have Malik Neighbors, they didn't have Devin Singletary, and Daniel Jones won a football game. They looked like a really sound football team that game. Good for them.
Daniel Jones just finding a way each and every season to stay as a starting quarterback. It feels like every at the end of every season, the Giants are just like inches away from burning his contract or trying to do everything in their power to sell him. But he just does enough, just does enough
Yeah.
to stay on this roster. So good for him. I can't even be mad. Maybe he turns out to have a great season with Neighbors. Yeah, it's so funny watching Jones just like still be a starting quarterback after 4 years, and I, a lot of us are asking why he's still in this position.
It's hilarious. Nothing has changed in the last 4 years. Like he's been the exact same player with like the exact same complaints from the entire fan base, but then he does just enough in like one little stretch that they're like, oh no, he's actually good. And they keep him around. Get your bag,
Yep,
brother.
love. Speaking of delusion, Jack, we have our next tier.
And the coach got fired because of Sam Darnold tier. We have the Jets, who after losing a game in which Bo Nix posted, what, 70 passing yards, they go on to lose to my Vikings in a game that we didn't play our best. But Aaron Rodgers, I think it's time to have that conversation. Three interceptions, three really, really bad passes. Like they weren't ones that got tipped up in the air and someone caught, or like, the Van Ginkel one was a great play by him, like sneaking under the line, going back, catching it. But the other two were just horrible throws. Rodgers stinks. Nathaniel Hackett is the worst offensive coordinator in football. He got demoted today, finally. And this team is in shambles.
It's hard to know where to pin the blame because you've heard people kind of saying one part of it is, oh, the receivers aren't on Rodgers' page yet. The receivers need to be the ones to figure it out and understand what Aaron Rodgers wants. Fair enough, but they got to figure that out. And then part of it could be, oh, Nathaniel Hackett, a horrible offensive coordinator. Fair enough, but I don't know. There's a legitimate argument to be made now that Rodgers is just cooked, and it's funny. Like this is the first new system that he has to figure out since he was a rookie. Um, like he hasn't gone to a new team before, so it feels like even though this is his second season, he's still. It feels like he just got traded like 2 months ago,
Yeah, I would.
and because ayahuasca and injuries both got in the way, so it feels like he needs more time.
And we
All
are
right, I'm gonna
back.
try.
What?
We're back.
We're so back.
Like I was saying, Jack, feels like Aaron Rodgers has been on this team for about 3 weeks, and I'm just waiting for them to figure it out. And then we're gonna have a fun Jets offense to watch every Sunday. But until then, um, they are shit, and I like where you place them.
Thank you. And I will say this because I'm going to bash the Patriots very soon. This proves to me that Tom Brady really is the GOAT and it's not close because at this age, Brady like came back to football, randomly won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and you see Rodgers, like he's that approaching that Brady age, still trying to hang on to something, and it's not the same. Not everyone can play great until they're 45 like Tom did. This guy's not Brady. Never was,
Bridge.
never will.
Aaron Rodgers is only 39 years old.
Wait, what?
Brady had multiple Super Bowls to win
Yeah.
before he would retire when he was 45.
Shit, I
I'm
didn't.
just
I thought
like
Rodgers was older.
it's not even close. I'm just throwing it out there. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback, and
Yeah.
I think that shows it right there. I mean,
Yeah,
Rodgers is great, but
yeah,
I'm confirming this right now.
it's a fact, and I don't even care for him. So that shows you. Anywho, super shit tier. Titans, Broncos, who I mean are 3-2, but they are just so painful to watch that I can't justify moving them up. And the Jags, nothing of note here. Super duper shit. We got the Dolphins, we got the Browns, the Panthers, and last but not least, the team who lost at home to Snoop Huntley, New England Patriots. As a Pats fan,
I
what's going through your mind?
I don't want to hear it, Jack. Listen, I'm putting this on the record. First of all, Jalen Polk caught that goddamn touchdown pass in the back of the end zone to win that game. The
Yeah, I
fact
thought he
that it
caught it
wasn't
too.
called a touchdown, ridiculous.
I caught it. Yeah.
Refs just hate us now. They hated us for 20 years. Now this, um, a tough loss. It looks like we're tanking right now, but as much as there is to be disappointed about, the Drake made dynasty is about to begin this Sunday against the Houston Texans. You know, when asked about the substitution May set up on the podium, he said, "You know what? It's a winning league." He said, "I understand it because this team needs wins and it's a winning league." And he's about to give us a winning team. I mean, I am praying so hard that this guy doesn't go out there and get sacked 8 times and breaks his femur, which is a very real possibility under this offensive line. But listen, he's got some young guys out there running routes for him. He could find it. He's quick. He's mobile. We saw that in the preseason. He's gonna have to run a lot this game, Jack. He's gonna have to look like Lamar Jackson out there to stay healthy. But I am just I'm so excited for what could possibly be. Um, because I this is earlier than I anticipated for May because once you put him in, you can't take him back out. Like
No, there's
he's the
no
guy
going
now.
back. Yeah.
There's no going back. So I am really looking forward to this game on Sunday. We're gonna see, but all I can say now is it's Drake May time. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I say, why not let these kids go out there, build some chemistry together, give the kids some snaps. It's only going to go up from here. And the last point I'll make on this list, can we talk about how bad the Browns are? Deshaun Watson might be the worst quarterback in the NFL. So many talk shows this week going on and on about him, how that was the worst transaction in the history of sport. Uh, it's remarkable. His QBR was like 8 this week.
It's like that's a move that just ruins this team for years to come.
Yeah.
The cap hit, you're forced to start him. You have no other option. You
Mm.
have too much devoted and like that. Like this Browns team will be bad in 5 years, still because of the effects of this contract,
Yeah, this
which
feels
is
like ruins the
crazy.
franchise for a decade type of move, and they are fucked.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road back.
Yeah.
Um, so it is tough going, but hey, the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. It's just, you know what this week proved to us, Jack? Old habits die hard. The Jets, the Browns, these teams are cursed. Someone
Yeah,
cursed them, and it's
yeah.
still going strong.
It's very, very true. Well said.
Oh yeah. Well, Jack, I love the rankings. I think they're spot on as always, and we're definitely not going to be proved wrong on anything this year or this week. So,
No, of course not.
not a doubt in my mind. Okay.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment, Locks of the Week.
Welcome back to the Locks of the Week. Your two brand new professional correspondents, myself and JJ, taking over the segment for a second week in a row. Obviously, you're going to be fading us on every one of these picks, and you will be as rich as Jerry Jones one day. Let's just put it like that. 2-9 record to start off the season, Jack. We look terrible. I hate to post this to the public, but I think I think we can go 500 this week. I think that's our goal. I think that's what we're going for.
Yeah, I think we were probably shooting too high going for the 4 for 4 mega parlay. I think, yeah, we just got to go baby steps. Let's get half. Let's get two of these picks right and stick and move. Coming at you this week, my two picks, the Jacksonville Jaguars +1.5 in Chicago. Uh, I can't say I'm super confident in this, but I think the Jaguars are a better team. They've just had a bad start. And the Philadelphia Eagles at home against Cleveland, two offensives that have both looked terrible this week. They'll probably both go crazy because I'm taking the under.
Listen, as long as the Eagles don't score, I don't know, about 39 points, you should be fine.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying.
yeah, it's really a one. It's really one team that can screw you here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith coming back from injury, you never know what's going to happen. So, um, don't mind these picks at all. And my two this week, give me the Washington Commanders +7 at the Ravens. I don't think they're going to win outright, but you know, keeping the game close within a touchdown, I think is very achievable for this team that's just so hot right now. And I can't wait to watch this game. This is definitely like game of the week for me, NFL
Oh
wise.
yeah. So fun.
Absolutely. And then moving into a 4 o'clock game. Listen, Kirko is back. He was born with this ice, as they say. So give me the Falcons -6 against the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton had his 2 week Cinderella run coming in for Bryce Young. I think the Red Rocket will return to form, and yeah, I think it's a mediocre team at best. So uh, Commanders and Falcons, and Jack, we'll see how we do this week.
Yes, I like that last one. I think 6 is generous for Carolina. I think the Falcons blow them out of the water, and I hope they do. And the Carolina Panthers go back to Bryce Young, give the kid another shot.
I'm with you there. I want to see one more chance for him. All right, but let us know in the comments which picks you're fading on the most, and we'll adjust accordingly.
So we will.
All right, Jack.
Is it time for what I think it's time for?
Jack, I think you know what it's time for. Um, so I had a certain handsome co-host slide into my DMs this week, just out of nowhere, asking for these ridiculous names on my team, and for some reason I gave it to him. So welcome to Trade Talk. We have our first official trade in this Chi-Fi Fantasy Football League for the 2024 season. Jack and myself engaging in a six-player trade. A lot of names to break down. Jack, I want you to take it away, man. This trade is your doing. This is your fault. You are to blame. So just break it down for me. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like.
I'll give you the whole scoop, full Adam Schefter mode, and I will say this was a joint effort. I was in the market for a deal. I wanted a star running back because I had depth. I had Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, and Javonte Williams, and I was super stoked about those guys being good. I have Achane too with injury, and I wanted to get a superstar. I tried to get Jahmyr Gibbs from Bridge, he wouldn't budge. So I reached out to my good looking co-host over here, 30 Heads. And I said, what's it going to take for Brees Hall? And you pitched this deal. You did. This was all you, man.
Yep.
I said I would
Yes,
offer
I did.
you Tony Pollard and someone else. And you took it away, sending me the number 2 overall pick, Brees Hall, along with Justice Hill, Jamo Williams, for Tony Pollard, who's been stellar this season, Rico Dowdle, and budding Josh Downs. I'm thrilled. I think that this deal works out for both of us. I think this is a long-term investment for me trying to buy low on Brees Hall. He's been pretty crappy the last couple weeks, but I'm banking on him returning to form, getting back in the end zone. Uh, I got to compete with Tyler. I got to try and, this week, getting 175 points put on my head kind of sent me in a spiral. Like, what the fuck can I do? So I went out and got a superstar, going all in. And Brees, welcome to the team, dude. Welcome to Brees Nuts.
Oh, huge pickup for you, Jack. I'm happy to see that your team, has a star in the locker room, and I agree that it is both of our teams, our lineups are improved based on this trade. Despite what most of my friends and close allies believe, I think I'm going to be fine. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I didn't look at Brees Hall's last 2 weeks with a 4 point performance and a 6 point performance. Obviously, his numbers are going to go back up. Obviously, he's going to be more productive for the season, but I'm okay with selling him at this price for two main reasons. The first being the Jets' offense overall has been disappointing. It has not been to the caliber that we expected. The second being Braylon Hall is getting too many snaps. His snap count is too high for me. He's looked really good. I watched him in the Broncos game, and for most of that game, it looked like him and Brees were splitting. So to have a rookie come in, get the snaps that he is early on, and have good performance, combined with the fact that maybe this isn't the top 10 offense that we were expecting this season, I see Brees' ceiling as lower than I thought. So I said, you know what? If Jack is going to offer me two startable running backs week to week for Brees Hall, and my RB2 being at this point Justice Hill or Tanks Bigsby, which is tough, which is not the position I want to be in. Honestly, the part of the trade that I thought I lost out in the most was the wide receiver part. I think I gave you too much. I think I like JMO a lot. Him being a deep threat on the Detroit Lions. I think I gave you a really good guy there. Hopefully, Anthony Richardson starts throwing the football a little bit more to give Josh Downs some value. Got some good news for my team today that Michael Pittman will be out likely multiple weeks with an
Yeah, he's
injury.
headed to IR most likely.
Yeah, so that could give Dons a nice opportunity to catch some more balls. So that actually, ends up being better than I thought it would. Yeah, definitely an interesting trade. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out for you and I, when we look back on it like week 15. But I'm
Yeah.
happy to get the first trade of the league done. Get some action going, get the managers excited, and yeah, we're gonna run with it. Bang! Huge names getting thrown around.
Huge.
Blockbuster.
This is a blockbuster. Yeah, it really is. Pleasure doing business with you, buddy. This is my first trade I made in this league in 3 years, and I'm nervous, but I'm excited to see what happens.
No, man, you just stole Bruce Hall from me, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm feeling
But
pretty good.
I think overall this trade isn't that ridiculous. I think it's pretty fair on both sides. Now, guess what, Jack? We don't have one trade this week.
I don't want to see it.
Lucky lucky for the fans, we have two trades this week, and the second one
Oh
is gonna blow you out of the water because we have our good friends.
no.
Oh no, Nabil and Ollie putting together this masterpiece. Jack, walk me through this trade because I I've taken every drug imaginable to try to comprehend why you would click accept on this, and I just can't understand it. I'm so confused.
I am blown away that Nabil sitting at 4-1 said, "Yeah, now's the time to trade my best player." That's Nabil was off to such a hot start. It was really looking good for him. And then this move, I just don't get. Funny enough, the day that Hudson and I pulled off the Brees Hall blockbuster trade, Nabil and I were in talks that same morning. I woke up that morning with a text from him trying to send me Garrett Wilson as well in exchange for Tony Pollard straight up, which if I didn't, I was pretty set on acquiring Brees Hall. I thought Huddy and I could get that deal done, and I felt good about it. If not, I totally would have taken that. totally would have taken Garrett Wilson for Tony Pollard, who I think is a better return
Yeah,
than these two films. Uh, Nabil is hurting in the running back department, where he only has, I think, Zach Charbonnet's like his RB2 right now. But Rashad White, I just don't think is the answer. He's already splitting touches with Bucky Irving. Bucky just looks, eye test, looks like a better football player. And I don't know what to say. Yeah.
I completely agree. And this just feels like a move that is like that a lot of people, a lot of fantasy managers run into the bad habit of like giving away too much value for like position need because like okay, like Nabil needed running backs and he had wide receivers. So he's like, okay, I need to go out and get an upgraded running back and okay, I'm gonna give up a good wide receiver. That's fine. But and that makes sense, but to an extent, like even if your running backs aren't as good as your wide receivers, you don't have to give up like the house to upgrade because like there you just needed to get so much more value out of a guy like Garrett Wilson, who it's ridiculous that he's trying to trade him because we just saw him have a 30-point game. We've seen him just progress in value over the last 5 weeks. Like I really don't understand why you feel that now like you're trying to sell him high, but you didn't even sell him high. You sold him low because you got a guy who's splitting carries, like you said, with a rookie and a
And a wide
32-year-old
receiver
Tyler
three.
Lockett.
A wide
Oh,
receiver three. JSN has taken the number 2 job in that offense. It's nuts. I think even with Garrett Wilson, he has been off to a slow start. And that was your first round pick. And sure, you could say, "Oh, I'm selling high." No, I think yeah, Ollie bought high. I think is going to continue to be good. Like I think this is just scratching the surface. You don't expect 30 points every week, but this week showed me that like there is real potential for Garrett Wilson, even in a struggling offense, to be a fantasy weapon. And Tyler Lockett was the best receiver you could get back to fill in for him? Seriously? What's this guy done
Tyler
this year? He's a legend,
Tyler
but not
Lockett's been around
anymore.
for way too long.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
first year that we started watching the game of football, like he was that guy. And he's
right.
still here. Kudos to him. But in fantasy, that's just not what you're looking for anymore. Ah, let us know in the comments what you all think about this trade. We've gotten a few senses from our league mates that we think we know who won the deal. Just like Ollie needed any more firepower, right? God, glad he's not in our division.
I agree with you there. Let us know in the comments which trade was worse. Who got like the shorter end of the stick? I mean, a couple of people try to tell me that I had a worse trade than Nabil, and I simply won't hear that. Jack, you're biased. I'm not gonna listen to your opinion on that. I think that's
No,
absolutely ridiculous. I think
I
I'll
don't
be
think you can
just
make that
fine.
argument. Yeah, you can't make the argument that your deal was worse than this deal.
Yeah, ridiculous. But that's been trade talk, Jack. This segment has been revitalized a little bit for us. So hopefully we get a little bit more action.
Yeah,
Even the managers that trade the most often, we haven't gotten anything from this season yet. So I think we'll have a few more trades coming our way soon.
100%. It is good to finally have some action going on. I hope it continues throughout the season.
I love it. What's going on here?
I thought it was funny. I saw that picture and that guy got cut. The cornerback diving right there in the photo. He got released this week. So I just thought we'd throw
No.
prayers out to him, prayers out to Nate Suit's team, prayers out to Nabil's decision making. Um, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, you could put a lot of different memes. This is a great meme format. I love this. Very usable. Uh, all right, well, Jack, we had a lot to say this week. We had a lot of action go on. This was a fun time. I am returning from my travels this upcoming week. Back in the studio, back in the locker room, making shit happen. I'm taking on Tyler this week, hoping for a David and Goliath story. So I'll keep you all posted on that. And Jack, what about you? What's going on? What's going on in Breeze Nuts locker room?
We're feeling good. We're trying to welcome our new guys into the locker room. Brees and JMO getting the start for me this week. You guys out on bye. Going against Scott, who currently doesn't have a quarterback in his lineup or available on his roster because Mahomes is on a bye. I'm not going to say anything. He also started Jake Moody, who is injured, and his zero has been secured. So hopefully we pull out a win after getting hoed last week. So um, yeah, that's about it. Huddy, safe travels back up to Beantown. Um, been a pleasure as always, man.
Absolutely. Jax, thanks for tuning in with me. Some good banter all around. I'm gonna go watch this the San Francisco 49ers ball out on
Yeah.
the Seattle Seahawks and have my boy Debo put up some points for me. So yeah, it has been a pleasure as always. We're gonna catch you guys next week. Break down, maybe have some live segments. We got a good crew coming up. A little meeting of the minds, if you will. Jack, we might call you in 3 a.m. from the bar if that's cool with you. We'll just put you on speed dial.
Of course, I'll be ready. I never sleep.
Beautiful. Oh, I know. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Get ready for the week 6 show. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.